Hi there, my kids are playing Legos inside, so I snuck outside for a few minutes to tell you about what we've been reading lately. I have 5 books picked out that my younger set have really enjoyed, and I'm going to show you the chapter books that we're in the middle of. So the first one is a favorite. This is The Quilt Maker's Gift, and this story has so much depth as far as thinking about the true meaning of the book that all of my kids really enjoy this book. The youngest enjoy it because the pictures are so amazing, and the older ones, the story is really captivating. It's about an old woman who makes these amazing quilts that she secretly gives away to homeless people, and then the other character is this very greedy king who has just everything that you could have possibly imagined under the sun, but is still not happy, and finds out that the one thing that he doesn't have is one of this woman's quilts, and it's about his quest to try to get a quilt because he thinks it's the thing that will make him happy, and about how she teaches him how to find happiness. So it's a pretty amazing book. Okay, on a much lighter note, this is a very fun, silly book that is a favorite of my little boys who are 3 and 5, and it's written with a rhyme, and it's just a counting book that is fun to read. Some counting books wear me out. I don't enjoy reading them, but this one I really like. This has been Samuel's favorite this week. He calls it a chapter book because it's broken up into sections, but it's actually a beginning reader book. So this would be great if you have a boy who is looking for books that feel more like a big kid book, but they're still kind of a beginning reader. Samuel didn't read this to us. We read this to him. But that is what it is intended for, is a child who is wanting to branch out into what feels like a chapter book, but without the all of the words, pages full of words. There's still going to be words in here like Massachusetts and Lexington, those names that you're going to need to help them with. But it's a really interesting story, and it's based on a true story. So I think these I Can Read history books, there's probably quite a few. We only have a couple, and I've really enjoyed what we have so far. So Sam the Minuteman. This is a fun book for this time of year. She has one of these for every season. So this one is about fall, and they're all told from the point of view of a little guy who lives on a farm, and so they just show on each page, they show something else that has changed because that season has changed. So it gives, just in a very not in your face way, like, what's the word for that? It tells you about how the seasons change and how the world changes with the passing seasons. So that's a one that, and the illustrations are really neat. They're watercolored like this. They're just really, we've had that one for years, and I get it out every time fall is coming. Okay, this one is another older book that someone had given us a while ago, and it is always a favorite when I pull this book out. I think it's so relatable. It's about a little girl who uses her imagination to continue turning this cardboard box into more and more creations. And she's a little bit of a stinker, and her neighbor is just a slight bit of a stinker too. They're definitely like real kids, not... It's very relatable. And my kids like this book. Okay, that's it for the picture books. Now, we have finished The Horse and His Boy, and we have started Prince Caspian. We're about halfway through this one. We're working through the whole series. We stopped on Rebecca of Sunnybrook Farm because I had checked it out from the library, and there was a hold on it, and so I had to return it and request it again. So we're waiting to get that book back. So we had to pause on Rebecca, but we obviously got a lot done in this book. And also we were on the road a lot the past week and a half, and so we listened to, if you get on LibriVox, which I will put, it's LibriVox. It's a free app that's all read by volunteers. I've probably talked about it before, but there is a book on there called Understood Betsy. I have read this book several years ago to my kids, but we found it on LibriVox, and the reader is wonderful. Her name is Leanne Howlett. I'll write it down in the description box so that you make sure, because make sure to get hers, because I think there's more than one Understood Betsy, but we all adored this book and her reading. My husband and I and all of the kids, we probably could just start it over and listen to it again. It is such a good book. It's about a girl who is an orphan and has grown up with these two older aunts who are extremely cautious and protective and sheltered her from everything until she became this very fearful, timid, skinny little child. And then because of certain circumstances, she has to be sent away from these aunts, I think when she's 9 years old, to another set of relatives that live out in the country and live in a completely different way. Also don't have a child, just like the first set of aunts, but live in a completely different way. And you see the little girl's transformation into this amazing, healthy child who's very capable of taking care of herself and learning new things. And you just see this transformation, and it is so well written and so captivating that everyone, when we would put it on in the car, there would just be silence. We were on the road for an hour at a time, and it would be total silence while we were listening to Understood Betsy. So that's my audio recommendation. My other recommendations for the week, again, let me know what you guys have been reading. I really like your suggestions, and I've been adding things to our list of books. So until next time, have a great week reading.